In today's world, learning has become a glamorous pursuit. You buy books, watch psychology videos, and listen to motivational podcasts on your way home. Everything seems to scream progress. But here's a crucial question that few ask themselves. Out of everything we've learned, how much have we actually applied in our lives? A comprehensive study by Degreed shows that only 12% of what people learn actually turns into action, meaning 88% of the time when we think we're growing, we're actually spinning in circles. Someone might spend 3 hours a day reading about focus, meditation, and discipline, yet still can't put down their phone for 10 minutes to concentrate. This isn't about being ignorant, untalented, or lazy. The problem is that learning has turned into an illusion of growth. Often our mind is just chasing the good feeling of learning, not the real act of growing. And this feeling keeps us away from what we truly need: the skill of growing while being a loser. Why, contrary to popular belief, are motivational behaviors more prevalent among the less capable, while smart and cunning individuals often don't pursue them as much? What is there in the skill of being a loser that isn't found in consuming hundreds of motivational podcasts? What lessons are hidden in the discomfort of failure that no book, video, or seminar can deliver? Let's illustrate this with a fascinating 2018 MIT study. Researchers examined diverse cases, people of different ages, physical and mental conditions, and even cultural backgrounds. They discovered that real failure creates new neural pathways in the brain for problem solving, pathways that remain inactive during success. Our brain simply doesn't engage the same way when we're winning. Harvard University further examined this phenomenon and found that startup founders who achieved notable success had, in 90% of cases, experienced at least one major failure. There's a common pattern among successful people that is often overlooked. Despite their achievements, they are always ready to fail. Yet our brains struggle to accept failure easily. Failure triggers stress responses, but, paradoxically, these responses are essential for building resilience and adaptive thinking. The discomfort of failing forces the brain to explore alternative strategies, innovate, and adjust. Consider this question. If someone offered you 100 practical examples showing that repeated attempts lead to massive success, and guaranteed that failing 30 times would result in triumph on the 31st attempt, would you embrace those failures wholeheartedly? Or would the fear of failure still feel unbearable? Here's where something deeper emerges: fear of the perception of failure. The moment others watch and say, "See, I told you so," a deep subconscious psychological fear arises. Psychologists call this loser phobia, a fear that shakes even the strongest individuals. Watch documentaries or read biographies of successful people, and you'll see that a significant portion of their hardest days were moments when nobody believed in them. The fear of judgment itself can cause real psychological harm. In Irvin Yalom's existential psychotherapy, he explains that those who fear failure cannot fully access their true selves. A person who refuses to accept being a loser never truly lives authentically, but only pretends that everything is fine. Many of our struggles stem from trying to silence suppressed inner thoughts, one of which manifests as fear of failure. Failure is a mirror reflecting our deepest insecurities and unprocessed emotions. It exposes patterns ingrained from childhood experiences, societal pressures, and personal expectations. Those who can confront failure without ego barriers develop clarity about their capabilities, limitations, and real desires. This is not just philosophy, it is supported by neuroscience. Each failure triggers synaptic growth in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for planning, self-control, and critical thinking. Over time, repeated exposure to controlled failure rewires our brain for higher adaptability, creativity, and resilience. The illusion of learning, in contrast, stimulates dopamine in short bursts without these structural changes. True personal development comes from living the discomfort, not just studying it. Experiencing failure is not a mark of weakness, but a rigorous form of self-discovery, a way to explore one's boundaries, strengths, and hidden capacities. In essence, the fear of failure is not what we truly fear. For example, in childhood, our parents may have prevented us from making mistakes. Gradually, we became perfectionists. We feared errors because our subconscious had been taught, "You must never make a mistake." Experiencing failure is, in fact, a form of self-discovery. Smart, cunning people understand that behind failures lie deep-rooted childhood struggles, and to better know themselves, they move toward failure without fear. Unfortunately, society promotes the opposite. Everyone talks about success, but nobody talks about failure. We confuse failure with personal worthlessness. If something doesn't work out, we unconsciously conclude that we are worthless, incapable, and unfit. We draw a thin line between outcome and identity, often without realizing it. Failure could simply be an experience, a link in the chain of growth, but when tied to a sense of worthlessness, it questions everything. The truth is, you can lose without being a loser, and you can win without truly being yourself. Winning and losing aren't measures of strength or value, so how do we know if we're genuinely progressing without putting on a facade of success? Let's examine common motivational misconceptions. Many say, if you want to succeed, wake up before sunrise and follow strict routines. But here's a contrary point. Waking up early can be harmful for some. Our brain operates according to chronotype, our internal biological clock. Some are peak performers at 7 a.m., while others are still booting up at 10 a.m. This isn't just habit, it's genetics. The PAIR gene, for instance, helps determine when your brain is most productive. Researchers at the University of Adelaide forced night owls to wake early for tasks. The result? Focus dropped, creativity declined, and performance approached zero. Imagine a naturally creative night person forced to rise at 5 a.m. merely because a book claimed warriors wake early. Not only is creativity suppressed, but a sense of failure emerges. As Einstein said, everyone is talented, but asking a fish to climb a tree will make it believe it's stupid for life. Each of us is unique, with traits that we must understand and leverage. Today's narrative teaches us that if you're not like the idealized version they promote, you are a failure. That's why the art of being a loser is so important nowadays. Admit you're a loser and rise late, yet know how to advance your work creatively. Admit you can only dedicate 4 hours to self-development, but remain action-oriented. When an idea strikes, you execute it immediately rather than overthinking for hours. Embrace being a loser and develop your unique personality. Nowadays, anyone who is different from the norm is labeled a loser. But there's another important question. Do our efforts produce the results we expect? The philosopher Yang Zhu wrote a famous story, in which characters representing effort and fate argue. Effort claims, "My success comes from myself." But fate responds, "If you're really that effective, why do hard-working people not always become rich? Why do virtuous people not live longer? Why do intelligent people remain unemployed while fools become bosses?" This illustrates that neither effort nor talent alone determines life's outcomes. This isn't to discourage anyone, it's a call for realism. We have exaggerated the role of effort and underestimated the impact of circumstances and chance. According to Yang Zhu, who was a Taoist philosopher, fate and luck play major roles. Not everyone enters the world equally. Some have supportive families, some don't. Some had excellent teachers, others didn't. Many so-called losers simply had bad luck. In an interview, an American millionaire was asked about his greatest achievement. He admitted, being born in California, USA. Many self-made individuals today hide this truth. Taoism emphasizes, embrace being a loser, accept that losing is part of life. This doesn't mean stopping effort or becoming hopeless. But in a world where everyone is flaunting golden opportunities and teaching life lessons, remove yourself from the endless competition. Embrace being a loser. It's better to write your life story passionately and genuinely, not just appear successful externally. Accept your pace, act despite fear, learn from failure, and integrate creativity into action. This is the essence of real growth and sustainable self-development.